working with everybody over the months and years to come, since this is my third week on the job, and it's been a wonderful experience. I've got a lot of tours to still go on, a lot of things to learn, but we're hitting the ground running. And of course, this is an exciting opportunity. And I'm not going to take too much more of your time. I just wanted to introduce myself, but I'd like to pass the ball over to our Honorable Mayor, Mr. Harry Rediger.
Thank you very much, Julia. And it's not only, Girardeau is not only noted for its warm welcomes, but there are a lot of good things that are going on and are going to be going on in Cape Girardeau, not the least of which is this great complex at which we are here to pay tribute to and cut the ribbon on today. So a lot of good things going on, Julia. You'll get used to that in the more weeks and months and years that you enjoy yourself back here in Cape Girardeau. So again, from myself, a great welcome to Cape Girardeau and our staff. It's great this morning to see our retired, smiling Dan Muser with us. Dan had so much to do with so many things in Parks and Rec over the years, culminated prior to his retirement by several years of grandiose expansion and newness that got Dan a lot of work, but a lot of smiles also. He also told me he closed on his house this morning that he sold. He has moved. So he's got a lot to be thankful for and a lot to smile about. So Dan, we're so pleased that you could come back and be with us today on this event. A lot of thank yous. A lot of thank yous go out not only to this great event, but all the great events since we really began opening and cutting ribbons on so many venues that were approved through the citizens in 2008 with the parks and water tax issue. What a great complex we're standing in the midst of this morning. This dates back into the 80s, 1987. The Arthur Herman family donated this tract of land for park use, and it is park use. The soccer field development, gosh, I can remember my kids when they were little, 2 decades ago, coming down here and playing soccer. How many soccer coaches and teams and community members dedicated their hours and hours and their community development through fundraisers and teams and so forth to make this complex come to pass. Youth soccer today here enjoys so many fields and so much activity. The initial softball development was constructed and opened in the 1995-1997 range. And then in 2006, going back when we said the 2008 vote, but in 2006, the Parks and Rec Board and staff developed a list of major projects. And what that was in 2006 were a dream, Dan. Yep. A dream that we were cautiously optimistic, but it was all just a dream to everyone. And that was passed in 2008. Go back to the Shawnee Complex. Site work was started in 2009. Concession stands were bid out. And in 2010, January, the soccer and softball concession facilities here started in June. Soccer facility completed, equipped in September 2010, and this concession stand was completed and equipped in April of 2011. It's evolved from the 1987 to where we stand today. And we're in the midst of such a great complex, including our new Shawnee Park Center, as you see behind us. It includes 3 new baseball, softball fields, state-of-the-art lighting, complete fencing, dugout roofs, scoreboards, bleachers, 2 soccer football fields, new soccer convention restroom facility, new soccer baseball concession restroom facility, 2,400 square feet of expansion of a maintenance building that was sorely needed. This has come to fruition as we stand here today as a real complete sports complex called the Shawnee Sports Complex for the use of all of our citizens and a surprising number, Chuck, thousands of visitors that come in and frequent our city and spend their funds here to enjoy this great facility with us. So very proud of it. And Dan, to you, and to Danny, and to the Parks and Rec Board, we thank you for Advisory Board. We thank you for your vision, for your work, for your dedication to bring this to fruition and completion. There were so many venues that we have cut the ribbons on in the last year or two, and I've been most privileged to be a part of that. Came in post most of the work, but it's really been enjoyable, and it's been the fruition of that is seeing all of them being used to their utmost, being filled every day and throughout the year, and used by our citizens and visitors. So thank you for being here, and I will introduce at this point now our City Manager, Scott Meyer. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Mayor. My purpose here is to really recognize those outside our city who have partnered with us. I almost lost it. Who partnered with us through contracts and an effort to build these improvements. We have the architect, Mitch Malone. I don't know, Mitch, if you're here, if you'd wave when I mention your name, we'll try to recognize you. Bowen Engineering and Surveying, Chris and Wade, there they are, on the front row. G&W Engineering Corp, Jeff, Nip Kelly, is Vince in? Vince here, I can see him. Denali Construction, Patrick Drury. And then we had several subcontractors for Nip Kelly in their work, Adam Masonry, Anchor Fence, Asa Asphalt, DMB Equipment Leasing, Drury Company, and K&K Electric Company. Sean Cook, not here, okay. And then Denali had their subcontractors, Buffington Brothers, Heating and Cooling, Danny Gramlich, Masonry, Davis Glass, Decker Crete, Drury Companies, Interior Plus, Kern Plumbing and Heating, Midwest Painting and Wall Covering, the Overhead Door Company in Southeast Missouri, and Roadrunner Construction, as well as the Shawnee Electrical Contractors. So it really is a lot of local folks that come here to work on our parks that they can use, and then their kids and grandkids can come out here and use as well. So it's a partnership, and we're glad anytime we can keep the money here in Cape Girardeau and the surrounding area, because they help support it with their use and the taxes that they pay when they're here in our city. And I know Scott's going to mention the employees, but from the city manager, you just have to know how proud we are of the employees that come out here and get us every dollar stretched and every thing done with such care and such professionalism. It's something that is characteristic of Park and Recreation. We've come to expect it across all city government. So we want to make sure that we tell you thank you. I know Scott will do a better job than what I have. But thank you all, and thank you all for being here. I'm going to introduce Danny Essner, our chairman of the Parks and Rec Advisory Board. Dan.
I always get to follow Scott, and I always have to lower the microphone. I'm not trying to be cool, by the way. I left my regular glasses in my car, so I have to keep these on in order to read. But I was talking to Dan earlier. I don't think Dan's had any trouble at all adjusting to retirement. He said this is the first day in 2 months he's had long pants on. So. Kind of echo what Harry and Scott have shared with you. On April 8, 2008, the citizens of Cape voted yes on the Park and Stormwater Initiative that allowed the expansion of the Osage Center, along with a host, along with a host of other projects to become a reality, including this project here. With the funding provided by our new park tax, we have finally been able to complete the sports complex here at Shawnee Park that was started many years ago, as Harry alluded to. This complex, and I've heard this many times, is the envy of many other communities around the state and region. The recent expansion will allow us to host even more tournaments than we have in the past, and we've hosted a lot more, but now we'll be able to host bigger tournaments, including postseason tournaments, which is a big deal. And I don't know if everybody realizes it, but this complex is utilized almost every weekend, starting in May all the way through fall, and it's full and it brings tons and tons of people in from outside the area. During a period of stagnant sales tax revenue, the dollars spent by the many visitors to this complex who fill our hotel rooms and frequent our restaurants every weekend provides a much-needed shot in the arm. I know Chuck appreciates that, particularly with the CVB. Looking back on all that we have accomplished in the last 3 years, we could not have picked a better time to pursue the largest construction undertaking in the history of our Parks and Rec department. At a time when commercial construction jobs are few and far between, we have provided opportunities for many of our local contractors and construction workers to stay employed, and I feel really good about that. And I can't say enough about the quality of our Parks and Rec staff. They are very passionate about what they do, and have been committed from day one to delivering what they promised to the citizens of Cape. I have to believe that our citizens are pleased with what they have seen so far. Cape has always been a wonderful place to live and raise a family, and the enhancements we have made to our Park and Rec facilities citywide have made it that much better. To all the volunteers who worked on our campaign, to the City Council members who allowed us to pursue it, and to the citizens of Cape who voted yes, thank you for making this possible, not only for our current citizens, but for generations to come. At this point, I'll turn the podium over to Scott Williams. Scott.
Thank you, Danny. Well, here we go again. This is one of the final ones that I'll be doing in the near future. But I would like to start by saying this project's a little different than the other ones that we had to open over the past 2.5 years. It included 2 different projects, really. The site development, athletic field development phase, which Bowen Engineering took a great lead on, and as well as then the second part, which was the building construction, the 2 concession facilities here and at Soccer, as well as the Park Center. And we did the Park Center groundbreaking back in March, at the end of March, and we felt like it was time now that most of the work had been done here. There's still things to go, and our staff will take care of that, but we felt like it was time publicly to announce the opening of this facility. It took a little more than 2 years to complete. I'm sorry, it took a little more time to complete than the other ones did. But in many ways, our staff has a lot to do, and we'll accomplish all those things that we set out to do. What we have accomplished together as a team, as a city administration, as a board, and as a staff, and even some volunteers from community, and it's very impressive and very rewarding. I don't want to ad-lib here, but I had to make a note of something Danny said. We originally, as a staff, Dan, myself, and Penny, Brock, all the staff, had planned to make this it was a 10-year tax with these projects being done over 5 years. Somehow along the way, staff missed that memo, but Danny, I remember, was the first one to start encouraging us to do some of these projects faster, and among other people. So now what was going to be done in 5 years is going to be all wrapped up in about 3, aside from the park projects, which will have to go on year by year, which it was planned that way. So it's always great to have a plan, but it's always nice to have encouragement from others to speed things up. We have taken a sports complex that has already established itself as a regional sports destination point. There's no doubt this complex is known regionally. Our staff has had a lot to do with accomplishing that. The capacity for this complex has now grown for the city with the addition of the 3 other fields and the other buildings. We've really put ourselves in a position to attract bigger and better opportunities. People that come to this facility from out of town are really impressed by what it has to offer, and that's the reason they keep coming back. I truly believe that. Our department and our city organization has 2 main goals from this facility that we try to provide. One of those is providing athletic opportunities to our citizens and surrounding citizens through leagues and tournaments and special events that we do each week here as a part of our regular business. This facility and staff does that through providing adult and youth softball. We also work with SEBA. I don't know if Percy Houston's here, but Percy Houston, our board member, also runs the Southeast Baseball Association, which operates here on these fields, as well as Jay Crosno, who is a big, long-time baseball advocate in the community and past park board member, and he operates a regional league here on during the weeknights that encompass teams as far north as St. Genevieve, Perryville, Jackson. They all come to Cape Girardeau during the week to play their games. So they do that, they eat, and they go home. So it's great to have them come into the community each week. We also accomplish youth soccer by a couple of means. The Cape Area Youth Soccer Association plays a big part in that, as well as the Southeast Missouri Soccer Club, which is our club soccer team that is housed at the sports complex. They both do a lot to improve soccer in the area. And with the addition, with the overlayment of the parking area at soccer, with the new concession facility, with fields 13 and 14 now developed and available this fall, and the new playground, the new Optimus, they purchased it, our park staff installed it. All those amenities will really help attract more people to come here, more teams to come back each year. You take the idea of a playground, and it lets people know they can bring their children and they'll be occupied during an hour or two. Little things like that make facilities special. This facility will also now be known for the home of Cape Youth Tackle Football. And Dan knows this as well as anybody. Cape Youth Tackle Football for at least 20 years has never had a place to really call their own. They've played at different locations, Arena Park, Osage Park. They've been in and out of the sports complex during the season. But now they can officially declare the Shawnee Park Sports Complex their home. And Troy Vaughn has been the past, I believe, the president of that league for 3 years, or 3 or 4 years, and they have seen substantial growth in participant numbers. So we're proud to say to the staff now that they can come out here, and we're providing a place for those, I guess, Cape Central future Friday night stars to play. So they'll develop their talents here, and they will be able to play at the high school level someday. So we're very proud that now Cape Youth Tackle has a place to call home. Also, I failed to mention Dustin Madison and Ryan Davis with CASA have been great during this process. There was times we had to change our schedule with the concession facility and things, and they were great to work with and really made it an easy transition during those times. Our second main goal for this sports complex is pretty clear. We're here to recruit, attract, put on our own, or get as many youth adult tournaments here as we possibly can throughout the year. And we've done that pretty well in our 13-year history. We've done well from bringing people in for state competitions, local, regional, and a little bit of state competitions if you count the Knights of Columbus. We have built solid relationships through various organizations, through the Missouri Amateur Softball Association, the National Softball Association, the United States Fast Pitch Association, USSSA, Special Olympics Missouri. Now that we have the outdoor championships here for the next 4 years, or next 3 years. Knights of Columbus, as I mentioned, we've been the host of the Knights of Columbus National Tournament 2 years, and also Triple Crown Sports, among others, that is housed out of Kansas City, bring us a lot of tournaments. It took a great facility to attract these organizations, but it's taken a dedicated staff to keep them coming back. And I think a lot of people lose grasp of that. The facility doesn't have family members. It doesn't have people that have to sacrifice weekends when they're gone. And our maintenance staff here, and I would like to recognize Cade, Chris, and Mark, Travis, Ryan, Justin, and Josh. These guys on a regular basis give up many weekends. They do this to make sure these things go off well. We've got a great reputation in Cape Girardeau. There's a lot of things, I guess, sometimes negative about Cape Girardeau because people are leery of bringing a tournament to the southeast corner of the state. They're worried people don't want to travel. So we've got to do the things extra to make people come back. And that extra is we probably got the best percentage rate of completing tournaments in the state. We have played all the way through Sunday night. We played through Memorial Day morning through the night in our facilities when tournaments in Columbia, Missouri, and other places have called it quits on the same weekend from rain. And that comes from a lot of hard work and a lot of sleepless nights. So again, to those guys, congratulations. It took, I call them the 3 M's to make this success happen. Money, machines, and manpower. And they definitely provide the manpower for that. One thing people forget, the PRS projects are known, but while they forget the funding that came from that also provided 2 new full-time positions for this sports complex, among other divisions, as well as we had about $2 million in fleet upgrades that's provided a lot of tractors, mowers, and equipment that our guys were long overdue and needed to make sure these fields are maintained the way they are. So that's a part of this that a lot of people forget about. I'd also like to thank our architects, our engineers, contractors, who are made up our project team. We had our challenges with weather through the first part of this project and some other things, but we all worked together as a team. I know Bone Engineering specifically on both projects worked with us in a lot of different situations and made things turn out very well for us, and we'll never forget that. The last thank you I have to say is to Brock and Jerry and the whole Parks Division staff. Scott mentioned earlier, but a lot of the things that were in the contract, when we decided when we had to rebid it, we had to save some money. And Dan and I and Brock and Kay got together. We had to pull out items that we knew we could do in-house. And if it wouldn't have been for those guys doing those projects, we would have never got the singing budget. We've never got a lot of the things that we're looking at today. So, and they've done that on every single project we've done. So Jerry, Brock, and all your guys, make sure they know how much we appreciate and depend on you. They're a truly amazing crew. In closing, I'd like to say, up until now, this facility and our staff, and I know Chuck was mentioned with the CVB, and Sarah Vickery's here, who will be leaving the city. She's leaving the CVB and going to Nashville, so we'll be missing Sarah in the future. And some community members have also helped recruit these tournaments. We've done well at the state, local, and regional level, but we need to expand our chances at the national level. And with these 3 additional fields here and additional soccer, football fields, we're going to create more opportunities now for growth and for those September, October national and mid-national tournaments. Along with the hotel and restaurant growth we've had in this community, and Cape Splash, other amenities like that will really help us attract those. And you can bet the staff will be pursuing them. So with that, I'd like to close, and thank you all for attending today. I believe we're going to line up right here in front in the shade so we can get a good picture of all the board and city council members. We're going to do a ribbon cutting, and then I believe Julia invited everybody to stay. We have some treats here at the end, some ice cream and some popsicles they're going to be getting out for you after your picture, so you got to stay around. And if you would go ahead and gather up here after we take the first picture, we're going to ask staff to stay on for a second picture with the mayor, all the staff that's here as well. Thank you.